Welcome to Audacity Works, a podcast inspired by and dedicated to the working artist, the creative entrepreneur, and generally, doing the damn thing. This exists on the premise that the world belongs to those who have the audacity to believe that their lives have value. This is for you. Welcome to Audacity Works. I am your host, Rachel Strickland, and this is episode number 150. 150. If you had told me 5 years ago that not only would I have a podcast, but that I would have done it long enough to have 150 episodes, I would say you were smoking something. And yet here we are, and no signs of stopping because I've still got plenty to say. I just want to take a second to say very sincerely, thank you for listening. If you listen to me every week while you're on your drive or you're walking your dog, picking up dog poop, or if you just stumbled upon me today, thank you. Thank you, because without you, I'm just talking to myself in my office. And it's amazing to know that you're not always shouting into a void. And I know that there's a handful of y'all that listen every single week, and I gotta tell you, I am so honored by that. Thank you. Today's episode is about a different way of doing morning pages, which I'll get into in a second, but we got some business to take care of first. Business number 1, the Audacity Project Cycle 29 is open and receiving its people. I'm enrolling for the rest of this week, so this will come out on Wednesday. Enrollment will close on Friday, September 12th. At 11:59 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time, New York time. And once the doors are closed, they closed. There are 10 people so far from the wait list. So that means there's room for up to 15 more, so still plenty of room. And full disclosure, Cycle 30 will be in the spring of 2026, and that will be the last time that I run the Audacity Project in its current incarnation. It's probably going to make me really emo, but I don't have to be emo yet because I still got 2 more cycles that I get to do. So Cycle 29, still open. There's a link, obviously, in the show notes. And all your questions are always welcome, so feel free to DM me. The rehab for my SI joint is trending mostly positively. It's very slow, though, and it's still very mysterious. No one's like, this is what's wrong with you. It's just we're throwing spaghetti at the wall. But I can stand up and sit down and walk normally, but I can't lift heavy things. And I don't like that. I've always been a bit of a water buffalo, just like load me up. I am the person that can help you bring all the groceries in one go, or at least I used to be, and I will be again, perhaps in a different way. But that's where we are with that. I'm not down about it. It gets frustrating sometimes when I have to get man flesh to carry a case of sparkling waters from my car into the garage. This is lame as shit. But we will get to the bottom of it, and thankfully, PT is allowing me to move with more ease. And kind of a big moment for me is that a few days ago, I got a notification, and I got my first $100 a month patron, and it's my dear friend and colleague, Jess. And I stared at the screen for a long time. I was like, that looks like it says $100 a month. And I had forgotten that I'd even made that an option. And I remember making my first $50 a month patron. I made it an optional tier because if I don't ask, it's never going to happen. I could at least make it available. And then people started using it. I think I've had 5 people use that option. That's incredible. And then I was like, you know what? I could at least make it an option to be 100. even if no one takes it, no one's ever going to take it if I don't make it an option. And then one day there it was. Like, oh my God. As that little Patreon makes a huge difference in my life. It makes a lot of things possible for me, including this podcast. So thank you to every single one of you. I know I usually thank you at the end, but I'm going to thank you twice today because it's possibilities. It's possibilities is what it is. That's what you give me. You equip me to do the work that I do, and I thank you sincerely for that. All right, let's move on 5 minutes later into the meat of this episode. So, interestingly, my most downloaded episode of all time is episode number 42, which is called Morning Pages. How to do them, how not to do them, and what to do if they bore the pants off of you. Most downloaded episode of all time. And not even by a small margin. It's almost twice as many downloads for that Morning Pages episode than my second most popular, which is just wild to me. I will link that episode in the show notes in case you want to give it a listen. But I wanted to revisit the concept of morning pages, not to like tell you, you should be doing them, because I think there's value in doing them, and there's value in doing them different ways. In particular, a few days ago, I was sitting down with a dear friend of mine, an artist and witch, a local here in Charleston named Shannon. And I didn't actually ask her if I could name her, but I'm hoping she'll be okay with that. But she was telling me I stopped doing my morning pages in the morning. And I'm like, oh my God, tell me more about that, because she did them like religiously every morning, like me. And what she had noticed was that doing them in the morning was not working for her. And it wasn't because she can't get up in the morning and doesn't like being, alive in the morning. It was because she found that she kept repeating the same shit. Just like, morning pages are mental vomit. So whatever's in your brain just comes out onto the page. And she felt that by writing all that stuff down, she kept repeating all of these like negative things that she was, and negative thought patterns that she was trying to alter, trying to get away from. And that the morning pages, by doing them in the morning, she was sort of setting herself up to live inside of that same headspace during the day that she was trying to make changes to. And she's like, fuck this. This is not the point of these pages, is like to make me feel worse and to perpetuate some negative thought patterns that I'm trying to shift. So she started doing them in the evening. And in the evening, she was able to write from a place where she felt really grateful. She was able to reflect back on the day that she had just lived, and just noticed a real shift in tone from the language that she was using, where in the morning it had been really negative and about all the things that she wanted to change and that hadn't changed yet. But in the evening, they were full of a sense of possibility, and that began to perpetuate itself. The sense of opportunity, the sense of possibility that she was getting from evening pages. And I loved that. And I just, I wanted to do a podcast about it because a lot of people have a weird relationship with morning pages where they feel guilty about it, as though it's something that they should do. That we got to stop shoulding on ourselves, y'all. Especially when it comes to a tool that's only meant to be in service of us, not the other way around. We're not here to be in service of our morning pages. Morning pages are like a bunch of awful shit. Like, all mine are getting burned upon my death because there's nothing in there but garbage. Now, they continue to be very useful to me, but it's not because it's good writing. It's not supposed to be good writing, but it should be a tool that is useful and in service of you. And if it's not in service of you, and you still want to try and benefit from them, then maybe changing the time of day you do them is where it's at. So if this has been a thing for you and you've been feeling down on yourself for like not doing morning pages, stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Well, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. But if you do want to benefit from them, and there are so many benefits, and well, we could just fucking call it journaling at this point, then try them at a different time of day. I have many alumni who are like, I am not doing these in the morning. Like, you don't have to. But if your practice with it has gotten stale, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be useful to you anymore. Just try maybe changing the time of day that you're doing it. I also think that it's a really good idea if you have a tarot practice, like if you pull a card every day, which is my preferred method for learning the cards, just like you pull a card every day. But doing it in the morning is sometimes not useful because people pull a card in the morning, and even though tarot doesn't tell the future, right? Nothing tells the future because the future doesn't exist yet, even though time is a spiral. We won't get into all of that right now. But then let's say it's like a lovely Tuesday morning and the sun is shining and your cat's purring by your feet and you're like, I'll pull myself a tarot card. And then you pull the Tower and you're like, oh shit, like we can't help but think, what does this mean for the day ahead of me? Even though that's not how tarot works. One woman's opinion. Tarot works by telling us the truth of our right now. So it's just human nature. It's human nature to see a card and be like, well, this is what my future holds. If we're doing it in the morning. So I think it could be a lot more powerful of a practice and more beneficial of a practice if you pull your tarot card at the end of the day and reflect back on your day through that lens to get to know the cards. Just a little insider witch knowledge for you. But all the sort of quote unquote rules that people sense this rigidity around morning pages, like they have to be in the morning or they have to be 3 pages long and they have to be written by hand. None of that is true. Like, you don't even have to be writing. I mentioned Scary, one of my alumni, Scary, they do doodles. They're like, I'm not gonna write, I don't fucking like writing. I'm like, cool, don't write. And they started doodling, like drawing again. It worked. It works. It all works. The only thing that doesn't work is not getting this shit, this like wonderful, chaotic, sparkly electricity that's bouncing around in your skull all the time and just leaving it in there. That doesn't work. People think, well, I'll just leave it there until it makes sense and then I'll do something with it. No. Get it out. Get the words out. Get the doodles out. Some of my alumni have used movement. Like, I don't do morning pages. I do morning like noodles on the hoop. I'm like, great, do it. Because remember that the point of doing these exercises and using these tools in service of you is to give yourself a relationship with your own mind that is outside the confines of responding to the stimulus of the day. And yeah, you can use it to reflect on your day. You can use it to plan the day ahead if you do them in the morning. But the point is that it's just that time for you to be with your mind. Particularly if you, like me, think that meditation is boring as shit. So that's it. That's what I came to say. That's what I came to say today. In a sort of like, this meeting could have been an email situation. This podcast could have been a sentence. Try morning pages any other time and see if they feel better for you. This is going to be a bit of a shorter episode because it's launch week. I'm in launch land and it's very high output. So I have less time than normal. But there is one more thing I want to say. This is sort of circling back to, like, if you make something a possibility, like my new patron that I told you about, it was possible because I made it possible, and then they said yes. It was an agreement of consent. Amazing. But it couldn't have happened if the possibility for it hadn't been there. So there is a thing that I want. This is more for like anyone local. I want to choreograph several bars of dance to any 4/8 song, because any 4/8 dance can be done to any 4/8 song, with some friends in Charleston. And then when we go places, like we're in a restaurant, or we're in a department store, or we're walking down the street and a song comes on that's in 4/8 time, we can do that dance. We can do that dance anytime. I think it would be so much fun. It's like having your own little flash mob on tap. And I just really want that to happen. Like, I'm going to tell the listeners of the podcast. I'm going to come right out and say it. And now maybe it will happen, because it's been living in my brain. That electricity's been buzzing around in there for a while. It's not for a purpose. It doesn't have to go anywhere. It doesn't even have to mean anything. I just want to do it. And now I'm closer to actually doing it. If you have requests for future episodes, you can reach me always on Instagram at Rachel Strickland Creative, or on Patreon at Rachel Strickland Creative. This podcast is powered by Patreon, so fucking thank you, y'all. Thank you. Thank you for standing with me. Thank you for trusting me, and for making this and so much more possible. This could not exist without you. Until next time, my friends, try a tiny little shift and see if it works better for you. And don't go back to sleep.